Okay, I just want to touch base before we start our podcast at 8 o'clock. So, hi everybody, I'm Nick. I do a political podcast. I'm going to be joined later by Chuck, and I'm going to be joined by Dan. So basically, I just wanted to kind of address some stuff that I've been talking about online with some of my right to center friends. So a lot of people have been asking me questions regarding my thoughts about Donald Trump and sort of trying to find holes in my arguments or point out um, what they consider hypocrisy or discrepancies or contradictions. I don't know what people are talking about. I think one of the things that happens is that, not to say that I'm never wrong, and not to say that I haven't been wrong in the past. I'm sure if you sift through enough stuff, you can find plenty of stuff that I haven't been right about regarding predictions, but not the stuff that I've seen at least. Um, so, I just want to sort of say that the reason that I don't talk to you guys online, why I won't get into these back and forth conversations with you is because I've said my piece. I've gone point for point on Trump for hours and hours and hours and years and years with people who defend him. And the way they defend him is by various means, by making false equivalences is a big one, by trying to minimize some of the stuff he does. So it's a lot of that stuff. And so I think at the end of the day, my personal opinion is I don't really need to go beyond who he is and what he's done at a very general level. The election denying stuff is enough. And not because there were no arguments that yielded any sort of attention, right? So, in other words, obviously, there were some constitutional arguments that had some plausibility on some level. However, they were struck down, number one, by lots of judges. And just because something has plausibility doesn't mean you entertain it. That's the other part. But the most important part of this is Trump didn't just entertain the plausible arguments. He entertained the unplausible ones. He tried in every single state, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Michigan, any state that was even remotely close, Wisconsin, he tried to create some sort of conspiracy. He tried to contact various people in the government. He tried to pressure them, force them, coerce them into doing his bidding, right? So, and then pushing it relentlessly in the media and culminating in what happened on January 6th, where I think he has a huge responsibility in, and I think any objective person watching how it went down and not being sort of influenced by outside political forces would agree that he has responsibility there. So based on that, I mean, just that alone, his lies, his deceit, his manipulation, all of that stuff, he shouldn't be the president. I don't need to get into policies. It's not even important to me. Now, could I have these political discussions? Yeah. And where would I fall? Probably all over the place. I probably agree with some of the policies that Trump had, or I do agree with some of his policies. I didn't really necessarily disagree with some of the judges he appointed. And some of the policies he had, there were some other policies I do vehemently disagree with. But I don't care to have that conversation with you because there's no way that you're ever going to prove to me that he is even remotely suitable or appropriate for that office. And for anybody to even consider him an option at this point, to me, is just recklessness, especially if you're not the type of person who believes what he's saying. So in other words, you have a whole base of MAGA supporters who legitimately believe the election was stolen, they're saving democracy, the stupid ones. And I don't mean that pejoratively, I mean that objectively. Like, he is, in order for you to believe that stuff, you really have to be stupid. And there is it's absurd. The accusations are absurd. All right, so for setting that aside for a second, if you're obviously the person who doesn't believe him, knows he's a con artist, yada yada yada, and you're still trying to psychologically prove to yourself that it's okay for you to support this guy, I mean, I don't have respect for you at all. You're not a principled person. There is no reason for you to be barking right now. Absolutely not. You've been through your walk. I want you to go up on the thing. Lay down. So there's absolutely no reason. And so I genuinely, I've been following politics a long time. And I have never seen people contort themselves in such a way, ethically and intellectually and psychologically, in order to continue to justify this guy or justify their support for this guy. He's bad. He's bad news. He's bad news for the country. He's bad news for everybody. So I think Biden is a great alternative. But I do think that Biden is unacceptable. I can stomach him because I don't think he's going to do a whole lot of damage. I think he's going to be old. I think he's not going to be charismatic. And he'll probably say things that some days piss me off, or even do things that sometimes piss me off, i.e. Afghanistan, or i.e. Jim Crow 2.0, shit like that. I like that stuff. But it's not going to drive me to a vote for a guy who, if he had the opportunity, would be an authoritarian. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm pretty sure he would. And I'm not talking about a Hitler. I'm not talking about to that extent, because I don't think it would be that. I think it would be a more modern, Americanized version of norms and constitutional stuff breaking down slowly over time. And I think you've already seen some of that. And to be totally honest with you, I think at this point, probably more likely that Trump is elected in 2024. That's my best guess. I think it's terrible. I think it's terrible for the country. But if you want to know why I don't take you seriously, that's why. There isn't a realm in this world. There isn't a place that you're going to go to, right? That's going to escape these factual things. I've watched him with my eyes. I've heard him with my ears. I've seen him also with my eyes. And I know what is going on. Like, I'm not. It is what it is, guys. So that being said, there's no comparable scenario to any other politician that I can think of in my lifetime that wasn't immediately just thrown out of public life, right? With just an iota of some of the skills that Trump has. But he's been able to convince a generation of people, rightly or wrongly, out of fear or anger or rage, anxiety or whatever, that all of these things that he's doing are not really actually bad and are all exaggerated. Now, that being said, there is a portion of American society on the left that over-exaggerates things. They, indulge their own sort of conspiracies. They're way too knee-jerk reflexive about certain things that happened to Trump, i.e. bloodbath comment, right, which was really innocuous, not a big deal. It was turned into a big deal, and it didn't have to be. You have court cases that are overly the charges are too harsh, like in New York with the DA. If you look at some of those comparable cases in the past, they're not the charges against the people who are being accused are not nearly as severe. So it's sort of it's that kind of stuff that that really kind of reinforces some of the stupider things that the right to center people are saying. And I just want to let you know that I hear you guys. I hear what you're saying. I know what all the arguments are, but I'm not going to get into this intricate dissection of every single thing. because in the grand scheme of things, it's irrelevant to me. It's a waste of my energy. My emotional energy is very important, and I don't have time to waste it on you. I have other things to do that are not that important, but that are more enjoyable. So I hope that you guys hear me, and I know I'm not going to change your minds, but I don't plan on changing your minds. And some of you are just so far gone, or so old, or so grumpy, or whatever you are, that it is what it is. So thanks for listening. I appreciate it, and you can rage at me in a little while.